What is up, everybody? It's your boy Doody back again with another video, and this time we're taking a look at our boy DSP's daily rap video after a premiere stream. That's right, Silent Hill F, and the late night stream I believe is Chronos. And our boy Phil is coping over here on his daily rap. That's right. Apparently the premiere stream didn't hit the goal, so Phil had to do a little bit of moving the goalposts and actually doing a whale call last night just to make it seem like he's successful. That's right. We got more goalposts moving. We got more coping and seething. And we have more confusion from DSP. That's right. So let's get into it. Video is about 8 minutes. Doody will speed it up for you. And let's see what he has to say.
What is up, everybody? Phil here. Welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Tuesday, the 23rd of September, 2025, a horror marathon for me, because today not only was the premiere of Silent Hill F, the first new Silent Hill game in 13 years, but also I continued on into the endgame of Chronos, The New Dawn. So, man, it was wild. Okay, now let's talk about what happened. First of all, there was no podcast today. I jumped right into Silent Hill, and we played for a good 3.5 to 4 hours of progress. Okay, so what are my initial thoughts? It's this simple. It definitely is Silent Hill-esque, but it has a lot of differences. Notably, there are no guns. The combat itself is all melee, but the combat is actually very action-based, having a timed dodge mechanic, having a charge ability where you can charge up your meter and do a special powered swing that actually is like a super powered swing and takes out the enemies. It's weird. It feels a lot more like a melee combat action game than survival horror. But at the same time, it has a lot of survival horror elements. Like, it keeps pulling you into, like, puzzles and things that are tricky to solve that certainly would not be, say, in, like, a action game, okay? So, here's the thing. The graphics are running well for me. I had to turn on DLSS, but once I did, the game seems to be running a smooth 60 frames per second for me. I like the atmosphere. So far, the story is interesting. But I will say this. The game, when you boot it, it asks you, what difficulty do you want? It suggests, for default, story, combat, hard, puzzles. But the game only has story and hard. I think there's like legendary difficulty for the puzzles or something like that, something crazy. But like, that's the default. So I went with the default. And I'm going to be honest, I do think the game is too easy. I feel like there's supposed to be more elements. Like, there's a sanity meter. And normally that sanity meter is for using special attacks. But the more that you fight, it goes down. So you can't do special attacks anymore. You could also use it to do counterattacks. Like, you could charge a trigger, and when the enemy attacks, you can do a counterattack to stagger them, but only if you have sanity. So I guess there's an element that it's actually really hard to recharge your sanity if you're playing on hard difficulty. But if you're playing on normal, basically, it's easier to recharge it. And whenever you go to one of the saving shrines, it fully recharges. So it makes it easier. And to be honest, I do feel like up to this point, almost 4 hours in, the game seems really easy, except for one puzzle. And I'll talk about that in a sec. Therefore, I kind of wish I played it on hard. Here's the problem. You can't change difficulty once you start. So I didn't realize the game was going to be too easy until I was like 2.5 hours in. I'm like, well, I'm not redoing it now. So I'm stuck, and there's nothing I can do about it. I will recommend, if you are a veteran of survival horror games, like notably here I am playing Chronos, The New Dawn, and now I'm playing Silent Hill and it's way too easy, I recommend you play it on hard on both combat and puzzles, not just puzzles. That was really dumb of them that they did it that way, in my opinion. Okay?
Actually, no, Phil. It was pretty dumb of you because your chat was in full revolt when you wanted to do easy mode. Everyone in your chat said, Phil, the game is easy. Phil, by all reports, the game is easy. You might want to up the difficulty. And you chose not to because, of course, you're scared of anything other than easy mode. This was clearly your fault. And as soon as you started playing the game, like within 10 or 15 minutes, you should have realized that the game was pretty easy. And you should have stopped the game and just did another playthrough. You would have to go back and redo 15 minutes of playthrough? Who gives a shit? Up the meter up, make it a little bit difficult. And again, isn't that the point of these games, these horror games, where the difficult it is, the more jump scares you have, the harder it is? Isn't that the point, Phil? But of course, no. Phil didn't want to do that because he didn't want to be embarrassed yet again, just like he was embarrassed when he played Gears of War during Horde mode. He didn't want to be embarrassed. He didn't want people mocking him or laughing him. He definitely didn't want detractors making videos showing his shitty gameplay. And the sad part is even on easy mode, he still struggled with the game. Good lord, he had that one puzzle thing he was referencing where there's a bunch of like just standing figures that don't move, and you have to find a specific one and kill that one and come and fight that one. Bro, he kept dying. It was pitiful because he didn't know what to do because, of course, anything that requires a puzzle or requires some type of thought is extremely difficult for Phil. So I think he wasted about 30 minutes trying to solve that one puzzle. So maybe it was a good thing that you played it on easy mode because if it wasn't for that, you probably wouldn't have been able to get through the game as far as you got through. Now, he's going to complain about support now. Of course, that's the thing here, support. Don't be surprised if he wage quits this game. Again, he got low support, several factors. The whales are just tapped out. I mean, it's mid-month, almost the end of the month. The whales don't have any money. Your future stepdad wasn't there to support, and apparently your future stepdad only pops in at night. And he'll talk about the night stream where the Chronos did hit the goal, and then he decided to move the goalposts as it relates to goals. And your future stepdad stepped in and dropped some subs, and that was the only way. Again, Phil, one whale saving the day. It's the only way. It seems like that's the pattern in your gameplay. Is a one whale saving the day, and you'll sit there and act confused to why you don't understand why people won't support a game. People are just tapped out, man. You know, when you're asking 3 or 4 people to prop up your channel with support, they're not always going to be there to save the day. And that's why Silent Hill didn't hit the goal yesterday. It wasn't even close. I mean, you were begging to get to $100, and if it wasn't for Dented DSP the Go dropping 5 subs, you wouldn't even come close to it. You would have made about $70 on that playthrough, brother. All right, let's keep going. This is where he complains about money.
So, the only thing that annoyed me, there was one puzzle that makes absolutely no sense. I don't want to spoil it, but I feel like there's a mistranslation from Japanese to English where something's lost in the translation, because the puzzle, there's a solution, like a hint, it's supposed to tell you a certain enemy to attack, but it makes no sense. None of the enemies are reflected by the hint. None. Zero. So you just end up staring at it and you're like, I don't know what they're talking about. And then there's a lot of trial and error and you waste a lot of resources. So that really pissed me off. But outside of that, so far, I think the game is interesting. Interesting plot, interesting graphics, interesting atmosphere. Silent Hill-esque for sure. Just very weird that there's so much like combat, action-based combat. I've never seen that in a Silent Hill game before. The one thing that did shock me. So today, for the premiere of Silent Hill, we had about 300 viewers roughly on YouTube the entire stream. We had like 80 to 100 viewers on Kick the entire stream. We couldn't even hit a support goal. Support was actually insanely dry up until like the last 45 minutes, and then people started contributing, and we made $100. That was it. I was like, wow. So let me get this straight. Silksong, Chronos, American Truck Simulator, all doing better than a brand new Silent Hill, the first one in 13 years. I never would have predicted that in a million years. I thought what would have happened is that everyone would have come to the Silent Hill stream and supported, and then everyone would have said, we don't want to come to the Chrono stream anymore. That game's old news. We're just going to, like, ignore it. It was the opposite. Tonight on the Chrono stream, we went to the Abbey.
I'm going to stop it there because he's going to talk about Chronos, of course, and him moving the goalpost. But yeah, Phil, I already said this. That's a segment where Phil complains about support. Phil, I know how you love to claim that at the end, your dents rallied and you got some support. Bro, it was one person. DSP the GOAT drop. You made $105 of that $55. Half of your support came from one fucking person. DSP the GOAT. So to sit here and act like, oh, near the end, they rap. No, man. No. And it's always the same fucking 5 people. It's always the same 5 people. And if you don't have those people, brother, you are in trouble. But of course, Phil's going to now talk about how he really was successful yesterday. And he's actually moving the goalpost now. Now what he's doing is he's actually counting the total amount for the day. That's right. So if he gets $300 overall for the day, he'll count that as 2 goals. And of course, Phil needs to preface this as, oh, this is just a one-time thing. I'm just doing you guys a solid because of whatever, right? So let's hear Phil cope and try to explain why he had to move the goalposts so that he wouldn't give Detractors the W.
We're investigating the Abbey. We're doing all this stuff in the graveyard. We actually got a new weapon, tons of gauntlets of enemies. Very fun stuff. And the lore, the game's lore is expanding and expanding and getting more interesting the further in that we get. Okay? Was attendance great? Yeah, we had like 150 to 200 viewers on YouTube, like 80 viewers on Kick. Was support great? We almost made $250. So I said to everyone, if we hit an extra 50 bucks on top of a goal tonight, I'll count it as if we got it for Silent Hill and give everyone a bonus goal. Because I really feel like we should have hit it for Silent Hill and somehow a fluke happened. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. So I did everyone that solid, and they did it. People supported, and I said, let's count. So now we're at 6 out of 10 goals, 4 goals away from DSP Tries It, the new Hot Ones collaborative menu with Popeye's Chicken. Okay? Yeah, I don't get it. You tell me why the survival horror game that I've been playing for over 20 hours gets way more support than the brand new Silent Hill game. So anyway, listen, I'm not complaining. Overall, today was good for me. Great support. 2 survival horror games, good progress in each. Enjoy the footage. The footage looks great. I'm so happy. My setup is so good now. I'm playing a new game like Silent Hill. It looks gorgeous. Oh my God, the footage looks amazing. I'm so pleased with how it looks. And I hope that you enjoy everything. And thanks to anyone who was there and supported. If anyone wants to support after the fact with a super thanks or whatever, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you. All right, so I have 1 streaming day left this week before a break.
Okay, I want to stop it there too because I noticed he's doing this recently where he's doing the whole super thanks now and supporting for on-demand content. And people said, why is he harping on that? No one's going to give him a super. It's because his views are down. That's what it is. His viewership is down, and more than likely his ad revenue is going to be in the toilet. I think I've calculated that for September he might get 375,000 views. And I mean, when it comes to viewership and ad revenue, that's really going to tank his ad revenue. And I think he's finally realized that. Like in the last couple weeks when the whole YouTube algorithm thing changed, where you're not really counting views with people with ad revenue and stuff like that, there's been a significant dip in viewership. And like I stated this yesterday on my podcast, I got a dip of about 15% of my viewership, but the view time is the same. Like my view time is the same. I'm looking to clock over 120,000 hours of view time this month for September, but my viewership is down. It's because they're not counting the view, but they are counting the hours watched. So more hours watched, more than likely you're probably going to get ad revenue anyway. And I wasn't getting ad revenue for people that had ad block anyway, so it really doesn't matter. So for me, it's not really going to impact me, but for Phil, I'm pretty sure it will. I'm pretty sure it will hit him even harder. And the one thing I did notice is his viewership is down by about 20%. I mean, this daily wrap has 284 views. And it's been up 8 hours. He would normally get about 300 to 400 views on this, and he barely, he's almost down by half. So that is going to hurt him long term when it comes to ad revenue, and he'll bitch and complain. That's why he's talking all about super thanks and tipping after the fact. So if you're curious, that's the reason why. So yeah, I love how he says he did everyone a solid by moving the goalposts and counting 2 goals because they managed to hit 250 for the night stream. So in total, they got him to 350. The interesting thing, Phil, you didn't need to get 250. You should have gotten to 200 because you did get $100. So if you really want to be honest about it, they should have just given you $200 and you would have called it square. That's how technically it should be. I think I've called Phil out many times about this, that it's pretty scummy that he acts like the stream before doesn't count or doesn't matter. As soon as the stream finishes, he completely whitewashes whatever support or money he got on that stream. Like he could make $400 on the first stream, and then if he got $20 in a night stream, he'll bitch and complain about the night stream. When he should look at it like, look, motherfucker, you got over $420 in total for the day. And that's how your goal system should be, Phil. If you're going to stream twice a day and you want to break it up, into 2 separate streams, then you should count it as a day goal. You should count it as a total goal. That would be the most fair. So if you get $300 in total support for the day, you should count that as 2 goals. Now, again, no one really cares because even the dents don't give a shit about these goals. Phil's the only one that is obsessing over these fucking goals. The only time Detractors care is when he misses a goal, and we just like to laugh at him, to be honest. So it really doesn't matter. But I love it how he's now moving the goalposts just to... and all this is he saw that Doody and a few other people posted videos on his Silent Hill where he didn't hit the goal, and we mocked him and people laughed at him that he couldn't hit the goal for a premiere stream, and he's coping and seething. So now he has to modify his goals so that it made it look like he actually hit 2 goals in a day. And let's not forget, he needs an excuse for feasting with the pig because his fat wife is waiting on DoorDash to come through the door. So that's another reason why he decided to change the goal structure. Pathetic, brother. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.